First question is from Kirsten Watson. Go ahead.
Hey, Dave. First, how was Julio's sim game, and have you spoken to him about it? And if so, what did he say coming out of it?
I just asked him how he felt. He said he felt good. It was a good exercise for him. Body feels good coming out of it. Throwing to hitters I thought was really good. And then he came back for a next up just to kind of throw a finish off, 15 pitch, something like that, which was fine. So I think overall he was productive. He feels good. And, we'll slot him back in the rotation once his days are up.
And with Mookie, I know you mentioned he was going to be doing some baseball activities tomorrow, but just kind of how has he been feeling coming out of these workouts he's been doing with the trainer?
He's feeling good, moving well. I think for Mookie, every day has gotten progressively better. I do, as I've talked to the training staff, there's a potential rehab assignment in the future, in the near future. So for 2 or 3 days, and then we'll get him back. So I know that he won't be back with us this weekend. So at some point in time next week would be the hope. But again, it's just all contingent on how he's feeling.
And with Mitch White, I know you mentioned that he's going to take the bulk of the innings today. What about his pitch mix and command that's allowed him to be so successful?
I think he's becoming, he's making throwing more quality strikes. And that's with the fastball, the slider, and the curveball. And there's a change up in there too. So he's been attacking really well. This has been a really good growth year for Mitchell, and to see him pick us up at various times has been fun.
Thanks, Dave.
Next question is from Juan Toribio. Go ahead.
Hey, Dave, you guys have TBA listed for tomorrow. Is that just kind of another bullpen game for you guys?
It is. I think that sort of where we're at, obviously, missing Julio and kind of where we're at, we just got to kind of piece it together. So we'll kind of pick up the pieces after tonight's game.
And you guys had a pretty big catch day here. What's kind of the latest with Tony Gonsolin? And then we also saw Danny Duffy. I know he had some time before he can come off the IL, but what's kind of the latest with him?
Tony is going to throw a pen tomorrow. It's just going to be all fastballs. And talking to our guys a few days ago, said that he was throwing the ball as well as he has in quite some time. So I'm encouraged, excited about tomorrow's pen. As far as Duffy, he just started playing catch. And obviously looking at the calendar, I see him in the pen impacting us at some point because of the lack of time for the buildup. But he's feeling good. I love having him around, and it's been actually it's been good for him, I think, to see our culture, the coaches, his teammates. So once he does get active, he'll be a lot more comfortable. So it's just a progression, and right now he's in in kind of the early stages.
And then with Gonsolin, if everything kind of goes according to plan, do you see him being able to build up enough as a starter, or can he kind of be like a bullpen multi-inning guy?
I would say, well, I don't know. I don't want to answer that yet. I see Tony throwing a pen tomorrow, and then a few days after that, facing hitters, and then for a couple innings, and they'll do it again a few days after that. So, that's just kind of me spitballing a little bit, but it's still some time, and we'll just see kind of where we're at after each kind of marker.
Thanks, Dave.
Next question is from Bill Plunkett. Go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, Dave, with Mookie, a rehab assignment, how much of that is getting him at bats, and how much of it is just a way to see if the hip will return?
I think it's more of the latter. If it were just solely at bats, we could set up a sim game and he can log some at bats. But I think the concern is the up and downs, the length of a game, seeing how his hip will hold up. So that's more the driver.
How soon could he be doing that?
I would say probably the soonest is Sunday, probably the soonest.
And going through all the guys that were throwing flat ground in the outfield today, Kershaw, after 3 days, is making progress? Has he told you anything? Have you had a conversation?
Just in talking to him briefly yesterday, I would say it's holding. So I don't think there was a regression. So we're just I really don't know, Bill, where he's at. I know he's still kind of trying to get out there, stretch it out, and we'll know more as he kind of can get it stretched out longer.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah.
Next question is from Fabian Ardaya. Go ahead.
Hey, Dave. I saw Victor was back out there today. I mean, is it just gonna be a short rehab assignment for him?
Yeah, it'll be a short one. I think that he pitched better than the line score. Feels good, which is most important. So expecting to be activated here in the next couple of days.
And then to go back to the bullpen games, I know obviously this isn't sort of how you guys planned it, but I mean, how difficult is it knowing that like you have to sort of get to September for when some of these arms can sort of be healthy for you at the rotation?
It'll be great. I think that the run prevention side, I think I can't speak enough about as far as what we've done as a group to be so consistent all year long, take on bullpen games and weather that with the starters giving us length when we need it. So they've been fantastic.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah.
Next question is from Eric Steven. Go ahead.
Dave, I forgot to ask this last night, but Chris Taylor, he crashed into the wall a little bit in right. I know he stayed in, but how's that shoulder doing, or did anything come of that?
I haven't heard anything. I talked to CT before yesterday's game and told him I was going to give him today off. So I assume that he's recovering. He's fine. Stayed in there. I expect him to be ready off the bench if we need him.
Thank you.
Yep.
Last one's from Deo. Go ahead.
You're 9-1 in your last 10 games, but you haven't made up any ground. Is there any frustration with that and with the team?
I don't think frustration is the word. Obviously, you're trying to, catch those guys, and when you win, they win. But I don't really think that there's really not a whole lot we can do about it. So I think the only thing we can do is focus on ourselves and play good baseball. So everyone knows that they lost today, and we got to go out there and win a baseball game. And the Pirates are trying to prevent that. So we got to play a good baseball game.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys.